Alright guys, tanks are painted. This is just an update on the air compressor build. There's number one, the smaller 20 gallon, and then here is the bigger 30 gallon. So we've got them painted. Now this one didn't turn out as good as the other one because I didn't sand it as well. Got lazy. Could have stripped it, and these bugs are going to get on it, I know that. But there we have two completed tanks. Now we're just waiting on them to dry. And I'm thinking about putting that one together right there, the 30 gallon, as the main tank, and then that will go over in the warehouse, the Bison warehouse. Well, we're getting there. We've got all the parts cleaned up. I've got a few more fittings to paint and a few more brass fittings to clean up, make it look pretty. And I'll show you what we've got going on here. We've got all of our parts cleaned up and ready to go on. There's the plate for the motor, then the flywheel, pump, water, I guess that's called a condenser, water evaporator or whatever, collector, the Bison filter, control panel, and motor adjustment thing there. And we're getting ready to put this bad boy together. So let's get started. Well guys, I think we got a problem. I think that pump, I think the bearings are going in it. When you run it, it bangs. So let's try it. So we're back to the drawing board. I'm going to have to take that pump off and put the other pump on it, and I'm hoping that I can use this bad boy because I like that on there. So we got to start fitting the new pump, or the other pump, and put on there. I know it's a good one, so I kind of had an idea that that was going to happen anyway. So we need to drain the air off of this, and what I did, I'll run me a line down here in the bottom. So all I got to do is just turn this red lever here. And let the air off, and it goes out on the ground. So now we're going to put another pump on it, and we'll be back. Alright guys, we have changed the pump and had to reroute the unloader valve. And we're pumping up right now. We're up to, looks to me like somewhere around 70. We want to go to this mark right here. Alright, now let's back her down. And the breaker just blew. Well guys, I'm going to have to change breakers, I guess. Put it on a heavier breaker. Alright guys, things got a little difficult, so I had to do a bunch of changing stuff around, and I was a little aggravated, so I didn't do a whole lot of videoing. But what we've got here is the original pump that I had, because the other one, I think the bearings are going bad in it, and the 1.5 horsepower motor, 30-gallon tank. This thing was built in 1960, November, and it looked pretty good inside. So we've got it up to pressure, and I've got my drain that goes through the floor, so I don't get anything on the floor. It goes straight to the ground. Then I've got my outlet going down through the floor, and we'll follow that. It goes down through the floor right there, comes across, goes in behind this, goes all the way over under here, underneath there, right around here. One day is going to be my forge under here, along with the cord that goes to the electric. Goes under the trailer, over here, hooks up to the front of the trailer. Yep, just accumulated some wood, so I had to cover it up. It always rains around here. Alright, then we've got the line underneath there that everything hooks to. That line goes the whole length of this trailer. So, let me put you all down here a little closer. And I hooked up there. Then it comes on down here further. And has two more places I can hook up. And then there on the end, another place where I can hook up. So I have endless, I can put air on this side, so all I have to do is carry my hose around here. Alright, I took the furnace out and made that plate, put it on the place of the furnace, put screen and a heavy screen up in there. It takes care of all the bugs, spiders, whatever. And then I got to get some paint on it. And this came out of a floor sweeper, that piece of metal. And sealed it up, and now I have exhaust. And there's where my water's coming in from. I got to get that fixed. Alright, then that line comes over here and up through the floor. And yes, I'll tidy that up underneath there and get it nice and neat so it stays permanent. And that goes to my new control panel that I built. This is Bison built. Got my control panel with my hookup, got my regulator, and got my water collector. Alright, so I used a full 50 foot hose simply because I didn't want to cut it. Yeah, once you cut them, they're pretty much useless. Yeah, you can double clamp them, but then that leaves a double clamp. If you go to put them on one of these fittings, you get a clamp, then you got the end of the clamp that's poking you in your hand every time you pick up your hose. So anyway, I got this line, and it just hangs there. And my shop vac line hangs there. And we've got the press in the shop now. I think that'll work perfect because it's right next to my steel pile. So apparently the bandsaw and the press has to come together. And we still got the mill. We haven't done anything to yet. Did one project, the filter, and started on a project. I was going to make these things right here, and I hadn't had one of these in my hands by the time I went to make this one. And here is all my blanks. These are all the blanks I was going to use to make these. Well, I went to looking at them yesterday and noticed, you can see I started with that Harbor Freight mill, and that's what it did. Terrible. But I had never seen one of these, and I started making one just from the picture on eBay, and I'll show you how good an eye I have. Look here. That thing is the exact same length as the other one. And I didn't measure this. I just went by eyeball. So that's why it's so hard to pull the wool over my eyes, because I got such good ones. Anyway, I think it's funny. So, but yes, this here leads me to showing my new shop score. The only problem is everybody already knew this was going to be a problem. These do not fit my mill, as you can see. They are lacking about 1/8 inch of fitting. So basically this has got to be modified, and because it's 3/8, the threads up here, once I've modified it, will be gone on this part right here. So, because these are exactly 3/8 apart. So this is a 3/8 bolt, and you see there's no play side to side. There is this way, but not this way. So it's exactly 3/8. So in order for this to screw down in it, these threads are going to have to be taken off, because I'm going to take this side off. to get this part to fit. Alright, well then, once I've got it all trimmed down, I'll still have the sides here to keep it guided and lined. I don't exactly like the threads hitting up against my ways here or table. May have to go with a smaller bolt. I hope not, because that means I got to make all my damn drawbars too. Right now it stands, I just modify these. But if I've got to make these too and smaller, then it's not going to be a good day in the Bison workshop. So anyway, the air compressor. So the air compressor is now done, and I hope you guys liked watching it. Got a lot going on right now. I've got to get a breaker box and some wire, and basically I have to, just to get power to the air compressor, this is what I have to do. I have to change the breaker box in my shop, which I've been wanting to do anyway, make a bigger one. So I'm going to take the breaker box, the new one that comes, and put it in here in the shop. Then I'm going to take this breaker box and put it in what I'm calling now my warehouse. So it's the Bison warehouse. I need to take that breaker box and put it in the warehouse. Then I got to take the cord off of this one, which is 4-wire halfway and 3-wire the other half. So I have to take it back down to a 4-wire and use that section to go from the warehouse to the main breaker at the pole. Then I got to run this shop off of that breaker with probably a double 100 breaker, and I do have one. So then I'll get power to here, and I'll have 220 in both places. So that's what you have to do one thing, and that's as simple as put an air compressor in a building that's not in your shop. I just didn't see no sense in putting that air compressor in the shop, because for the simple reason it's just too loud. I know every time an air compressor kicks on, it's sudden, so you could be doing something and have your mind set somewhere else, that thing kick on and you about to jump out of your skin. I've had that happen a few times. I've actually had one kick on me while I was right up next to it. Scared the living crap out of me. Thought I did something wrong. So, I guess this is an update on the Bison workshop as to how far we're getting to be a real shop.